Hey guys, back in. We're going to do some more drafting. Today I'm going to do an isometric drawing. Last time we did an oblique. We're going to go ahead and draw the merge cube that I have. So we're going to scale it, or we won't have to scale it, we'll have to do actual scale. So we're going to take an actual measurement of the merge cube, and then we're going to draw that in an isometric. Isometric's a little bit different perspective than the oblique, and I will show that to you. Alright, so if I am to look at the merge cube, okay, when I get this perspective here, okay, where everything is straight, okay, and even on the bottom, okay, and then projects back at a 45-degree angle, that's my oblique, right? So the difference between an oblique and an isometric is going to set it like this. Okay, so I have a 30-degree angle here and a 30-degree angle here. Okay, shows more of this contour on the right side. Okay, so there are reasons to use this, would show more detail. If I didn't just have a cube, I had a different shape or something, I might get better perspective of either this side or this side, depending on what I'm doing. Obviously, I can show either side, right? So if I want to do an isometric this way, okay, I can show this side of the cube as well. So either way you go about it, a lot of times when you see a decent isometric drawing, it's going to show this side as well as this side, right? If there's detail to be captured. But we're just going to do one side today. So I'm going to go ahead and start by taping down my paper on my nice flat smooth work surface. Okay, make sure you're working somewhere nice and smooth. You're probably going to want to find a surface that has a nice straight edge to it, so you can use your T-square. Okay, if you don't have that, you can use the kitchen table. Just don't let your mom know that you're drawing on her kitchen table, right guys? Okay, so once you've got everything squared, taped down, I usually come off an inch on my edge here so that I can measure easily. Okay, but just kind of however you want to do it. Okay, if you need to, you can always just draw off the edge of your paper. Okay, you can use that T-square on the edge of your paper. Not a big deal. Okay, sometimes that's a little easier, right? Okay, so I'm going to start off by making my border. I'll go ahead and do that real quick. I'm just going to pause while I make that border. Remember, it's a 1/4 inch border all the way around. So I'm going to do a 1/4 inch border. Do it nice and light, and then you can go back and darken it in. Once I've got that border, I'm going to do my box, right, my key or legend, so I can do my box down here. I'm going to go ahead and pause while I do that, and you guys can go ahead and do your border in your box, and then I'll be right back with you. Alright guys, so I've got my border, I've got my legend down here. You guys can see what that looks like. Should be pretty simple, just a 1/4 inch space around the outside edges. Okay, you're using a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper probably, so 1/4 inch does just fine. Okay, first thing I'm going to do again is make a reference line. Okay, so I'm going to come about 1.5 inches up off the edge here. Okay, I'm just going to make a nice light line across here. Okay, that just gives me a reference area that I can use. Okay, when I set my square or anything else. Okay, so that's my reference line. I'm going to come up from the reference line. Okay, I'm going to pick a point at about the center of my paper. Okay, I'm just going to make a little mark there. You guys can see that. Okay, I've got my little dot here. Here is my reference line. The light's a little bright. Let me dim that down so you can see a little better. Reference line and the dot to the center. Okay. As I get this further away, it's a little harder to see. But anyway, okay. So there we go. There's our reference point. Okay. And from the reference point, I'm just going to give myself a short line. Okay, nice and light. Okay, so right at my reference point is my nice light line. Okay, maybe a little hard for you to see, but as I said, you want to keep these lines nice and light so that you can go back later and erase them. Okay, when we do an isometric, okay, previously we did the oblique. when you did the oblique, he used the 45-degree triangle, 45, 45, and 90, right? 45-degree triangle. This time, we're going to use the 30-60. So here I've got 30 degrees on this end, 60-degree angle on this end, and of course 90 here. So 90, 60, 30, add them all up, you get 180 degrees, okay? So any triangle that is a true triangle is going to give you 180 degrees, no matter what these angles are, okay? So we've got our 30-60, okay? I'm going to go ahead and set that down, okay? And I'm going to come from my reference point right here. I'm just going to make a nice light line from my reference point back a couple of inches, okay? Let's take our first measurement on the merged cube. And because it is a cube and it is completely square, we'll only have to measure once because all the sides are exactly the same. So I'm going to measure, put my 0 on the edge. Okay, so we are looking at 2 3/4 of an inch. Okay, for the overall distance on this. Okay, so 2 3/4. I'm going to go ahead and measure my line out. Where it is 2 3/4. I need to go a little bit further. Okay. So I'll put this back up here. I'm going to go out 2 3/4 of an inch. Okay. So there's my first line. Okay. Next, I'm going to flip this around. And my next line is going to come from the other side of this point. Okay. I'm going to take it up 2 3/4. Now that's probably a little longer, but I can measure it out. Okay, here's my end point. And this is a very light line, so I'm going to erase the part of that line that I don't need. Okay, well, I can go back in and darken this line a little bit so you guys can see it better, and it's going to be a permanent line anyway. So I'll darken that up. Okay, nice and dark, you guys can see that now. Okay, so beyond that starting point, okay, this is going to be very similar to what we did on the the oblique drawing, okay? So I can take from my reference line, I can line my square up on my reference line, or I can use my t-square, okay? I'm going to line up 1 inch from my reference point. Okay, and I have to go up, my line should be 2 3/4 inches long. Okay, so 1 plus 2 3/4 is 3 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to come up to the 3 3/4 mark. Okay, and I'm going to draw a line straight down, 90-degree line, straight down to my reference point. Okay, now the nice thing about this is all I have to do is move over to this side. Okay, I can go from my reference line here, or I can use my bottom border down here. Right, I can use this as a reference line as well because these are all square. Okay, and I'm going to come up 2 3/4 of an inch. So this time I'm going to use it from the 4-inch mark. Okay, 4 plus 2 3/4 is how much? 6 3/4. Actually, my measurement needs to be, yes, 2 3/4. So 2 3/4 plus 4 is 6 3/4. So I'm going to come up to 6 3/4. Okay, and I'm going to draw a line straight down. Okay, it's 90 degrees, it's perpendicular to this one, or parallel to this one, and it is the same exact length as this line. Next I'll come over and do this one, okay, from the 4, right? 6 3/4. I come down, make my 2 3/4 inch line, which is parallel to these ones, okay? So pretty easy so far, right? Okay, next thing I've got to do is connect these 2 points right here, okay? That's easy to do. Slide my T up, put my 30-degree angle on there. I can then line it up to these 2 marks and come down, okay? Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, looking pretty good so far. Okay, so now I'm going to get a line that's going to come back this way, right? Back side of that. So I'll use my 30-degree angle, right? 30 degrees. Let's slide it up on my T-square. And I'm going to come back, make a nice light line, projecting back this way, nice and light. Okay, makes it real easy. Okay, flip your triangle. You're going to come back the other way from the other side. Okay. Nice and light. Okay, so you can see I put my reference point a little bit too high to start off with this drawing. I'm going to end up right here, right at the top of my border for the intersection. So you might want to come down a little bit lower. If it's there, it's fine, not a big deal. I'm going to darken in both these lines now so that you can see them. Okay. All right. Fun stuff, right? So you got all these symbols and emblems on these merge cubes, makes it kind of fun, right? Say I wanted to put this diamond shape right in the center of one of these sides, right? Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is just give myself a nice light line to find the center of this, right? Nice and light, okay? And nice and light there. Okay, so there's the center of that. Okay, so if I wanted to draw that cube now, okay, I could measure out and come across, and I would end up with this emblem here. Okay, you can do all that stuff. It's fun. Just a good way to try and find all these different lines. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and erase this line that I just made for the design. What I'm going to do is show you guys the hidden lines now. Okay. So we're just going to draw the hidden lines real quickly. Erase that. Okay, and come back and clean that up a little bit better after too. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and give you your hidden lines now. Okay, so it's going to be the same angle, right? 30 degrees. Okay, and our hidden line is not a solid line, it is a dashed line. Okay, so I'm going to make my dashed line coming this direction. That's my hidden line. Okay, hidden lines are used to show things that are there but obstructed from your view, from your perspective. Okay, flip my triangle, go the opposite direction here, in this corner, make my dashed line. Okay, and then my hidden line that comes up the back here. Okay. All right, so now it looks like I just have this kind of funky emblem or symbol here, okay? That's because this is a perfectly squared cube, right? All the sides are exactly the same. Okay, if I had something that was more rectangular, wouldn't look quite like this, right? One side these sides would be longer, or this side would be longer. But just a good way to get started, guys. This is a fun one. I'll show you on our next isometric drawing how you would do something with a little different contour, a little different shape to it. So I will catch you guys in a bit. Good job.